the scene of this gymnastics summit between the Russians and the United States. The Russians, men and women, considered to be the very best in the world. Some of the people you're watching here, undoubtedly, you'll be seeing later this year. Television coverage from Seoul in the Olympic Games. Next up, Yuri Korolev. He started when he was 10 years old, and he's 25. He's the world champion.
In fact, two of the Soviet gymnasts that are here, Korolev and Dmitry Belozerchev, who we'll see later, are the only two gymnasts in the world that have ever won the world all-around title twice. They did it by alternating with each other each time. Korolev in the dual meet scored a 10 on this event. It's a beautiful one-arm giant to a one-arm reverse hack. It's called a Tkachev, named after one of his teammates a few years ago. Those are inverted giants.
Peter, that must require great strength.
Well, the inverted giant, really, horizontal bar is a swing event. To do any of these skills really requires just a good sense of your body and tap. That was a double layout dismount, a perfect landing. But it's not nearly as difficult sheer strength as, for example, the rings or the quick explosive power that you need on floor exercise.
Yuri Korolev, and he gets a champion's reception as befitting a two-time world champion.
We'll take a look. He does a double layout. It's a double back flip with his body stretched.
Ladies and gentlemen,
let's go to the bar just at the right time. Incredible height, and he just zeroes in on the ground. Perfect landing.
You heard a gentleman by the name of Jack Whitaker and a lady by the name of Kathy.
Now a very special guest here for this gymnastics summit between the United States
Her wings on today for this vault.
and the Soviet Union.
It's called a layout Sukahara.
That lady there, Mary Lou Retton.
There is the green light.
And they're reliving a moment from 4 years ago.
It has two vaults, remember?
When Mary Lou became the darling of the gymnastics world, especially the United States portion of it. They're replaying the Olympic coverage of her perfect 10. That must have been some night here, Peter.
Oh, it sure was. In fact, Mary Lou is standing in the spot that she scored that perfect 10 here in Pauley Pavilion.
Some of the crowd doesn't know she's here, of course. She's standing down in the corner, and when they ask her to come out, I'm sure the roof will come off the building. There's Karoli, Bela Karoli, the coach. She's now chief of the United States Gymnastics delegation.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And now the introduction
the
from Mary
reigning
Lou Retton.
Olympic champion of the 1984 Games, Miss Mary Lou Retton.
About the roof coming off, but they're all standing. She's not very tall, but boy, she is big.
Returning to the scene of the crime here. This is great.
She has a microphone.
Thank you so very much.
Vidal Sassoon.
Hearing those voices again and remembering that moment so vividly in my mind, and being back here in Pauley Pavilion, the place where I did win my gold medal, brings back such wonderful, incredible memories for me. It definitely was the highlight of my career. And I want to take this time right now to thank America and to thank especially the city of Los Angeles for helping me through those Olympic Games and giving me the support during the Games and, of course, after the Games. Thank you all so very, very much. Thank you. My life has changed, to say a little bit, after the Games. I owe everything everything to the sport of gymnastics. I was in the sport for 12 years. I came to it. And one thing I do miss about it, when I'm working out now for fun, I'm not competing anymore. When I'm working out, or when I finish a TV commercial, or a motivational speech, or even a class in college now, I don't have that famous Bella Caroli bear hug to give me that extra That's something I do miss.
Hey, anybody out there still need a big bear hug?
I certainly do. That's the voice I love and I know.
Well, there's a special moment relived from out of the past.
He's wonderful. He's the best. Thank you very much. Thank you again for your support. Enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss
Mary Lou
Mary
Retton.
Lou Retton.
Thank you all. I love you.
And now we turn to Tom Schlesinger.
Gymnast from University of Nebraska.
Schlesinger,
who
excuse me.
medaled in still rings
From University of Nebraska.
As well as being a member of the gold medal team. Currently ranked 4th in the country on P-bars, Mr. Tom Schlesinger.
Parallel bars.
Tom was the NCAA all-around champion last year. His team, Nebraska, finally won their NCAA title after a little bit of a drought. They were dominating gymnastics a few years ago, winning for 5 years in a row. And then for the last 3 years, they were second place, and in each competition missed first place by less than a point. And Tom and his teammate Kevin Davis, who we'll see a little bit later on, are both seniors, and they were hungry for a gold medal and for first place for that NCAA title, and they just won it.
His future plans include a medical career. He wants to be a doctor.
It's a V press to a handstand. There's a back toss, another back toss, and a double back dismount.
And a slight bobble there. Schlesinger, beautifully done.
A high school freshman from
And here's his
early
back toss. It's basically a backflip on the bars from handstand to handstand. 2 in a row.
For half her life. At Kansas City last year, she won the
We go now to the uneven bars and Miss Brandy Johnson, who was 14.
Would you please welcome
And as the public address announcer just told the crowd here at Pauley Pavilion, she has been in gymnastics half of her life. 7 years devoted to her sport.
And there's some high hopes placed on Brandy. She's a very strong and powerful gymnast. That was a reverse hex. She got very high off the bar, but she just peeled off. Didn't quite get her hands on the bar.
But did you notice, Peter, the athletic skill with which she fell and bounced right back up again? It almost looked as though it were part of the routine.
Well, you have to be prepared for things like that. You don't want it to happen, but when it does, you got to break your fall somehow. Beautiful double back dismount.
Indeed. Brandy Johnson from Tallahassee, Florida. And Bella Caroli right there.
Now, you've seen the American style of uneven bars. We would like to show you the...
This is her error. That's a reverse hex over the bar. She came down to catch it, but her fingertips were probably just at the very tip of the bar. She needed to get the whole palm of the hand on top of that big piece of wood there.
Champion has come from 10,000 miles to join us. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Paulette Huntanova.
Paulette Huntanova. Something special. I don't have much on this performer. Let me check my notes. See if I can find something on Paulette Huntanova. Oh, yes. Here I have it. Out of Murray, Utah, Paulette.
That's right. It's actually Paul Hunt, who has a gymnastics club up in Utah, and he's probably the best gymnastics comic in the world. Now he or she is setting his bar.
A couple of whistles from out of the crowd caught Paulette's attention. And now the crowd slowly realizing that Paul Hunt is more than just another pretty face on the uneven bars.
Here he goes.
Can you imagine the hours of practice he put in learning to do that routine? He looks almost helpless and trapped up there, didn't he? Paul Hunt. He'll be back. Oh, what a magnificent comedy routine.
I've seen him do that routine quite a few times.
He'll probably go change his tutu and be back with another performance.
It's just as funny every time I see this. You know, I have to be honest with you, he is going to change his leotard after this performance. I could talk about that landing, but I just don't know what to say.
Let's go to the balance beam, and Natalia Frolova, 17 years old, from the Soviet Union.
Now we're going to go a little bit more serious here. This is going to be a beautiful performance.
National championship. Russian national champion.
And you know what's nice about this exhibition format is that you notice that there's music being played with the balance beam routine. That's not done in competition. Only on floor exercise do you hear music, but it adds a nice touch to it. Beautiful back handspring, back layout, step out. Look how high she gets off the beam in her leaps. It's so easy for the girls to hesitate, not go all out when they do those leaps, because you get so high up there on the way down, you don't want to miss that beam.
Well, you'd think the tendency would be to keep a foot as close to that beam as possible, Peter.
Absolutely.
Only 4 inches across.
Yeah. The way that they learn many of these skills is they might learn it by doing a skill on a balance beam that's right off the ground, maybe just about an inch off the ground. And then they do it high up. And it doesn't matter how many times you do it in the ground, when you do it up on top for the very first time, you get those butterflies.
I'm sure. It's probably quite a trick just to convince yourself that you're really just about 3 inches off the ground when you're 4 feet in the air, or 5.
Here's her dismount, round off, double backflip. Very good.
Natalia Frolova. All right, we'll be back with more of this gymnastics summit, United States and the USSR. But first, this message. Visit to the